Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Starbound Stuff. I guess you can call this a special episode. This is because I went through all the videos we've made about Starbound and I realised we haven't actually made an overview to let people know what this game actually is, apart from just telling specific parts. This is because we made the Starbound Stuff series as soon as we heard anything about Starbound. It didn't even have a name when we started doing it. We just made a quick video about the background of Ty's Twitter feed. At that point it was one of the first screenshots about Starbound, and it's turned into this nearly 40 episode series, so that was unexpected. So this video is going to be a quick overview about Starbound, letting you know what this game actually is, what it includes, just to keep you newcomers up to date. Okay, so Starbound is a 2D tile-based sandbox game that is set in space. And before you say it, the art style in the game, as well as a lot of the mechanics, are very much like Terraria. There is good reason for this. Ty, or T-I-Y, is the lead developer of ChuckleFish Games. ChuckleFish Games is a new company here to develop Starbound, but Ty himself also previously worked on Terraria. No, there are many reasons why Starbound is not a clone of Terraria, but more on that later. Okay, so when you start the game, you are this dude or dudette who is fleeing a world in a space shuttle. This is because your homeworld has been destroyed by an unknown enemy. Your space shuttle luckily finds an abandoned space station, and quote, an adventure begins. Before you start the game, you can choose between 6 different races. Humans, which we know little about, which is strange because obviously we are them. The Apex, which basically look like apes, due to the fact that they made a system called the VEP, or VEP, which allowed them to trade physical devolution for intellectual evolution. This basically means that they look like apes or devolved humans, but they are very clever. Next up are the Avians, a bird-like race, who are highly religious. They believe that if they worship their god called Klukes, that they will be rewarded with the wings that were apparently stripped off. Next up is the Florans, a plant-like species who currently aren't as peaceful as you would think. Unwitting explorers who fall prey to the carnivorous Florans get stripped of their technology, and the technology is reverse engineered so that they can continue their quest into the stars. The next 2 species we know little about. One of them is a robot-like species, and the other one are a mudkip-like species that are believed to live underwater. Please note that them 2 last species are completely unconfirmed. Okay, so once you've chosen your species and you've found this space station, you are able to discover a unlimited amount of planets that are generated according to their position in the galaxy, or their coordinates. This leads me to Procedural Generation. This is what I think makes this game great. Nearly everything in this game is procedurally generated. This includes the planets, the weapons, and even the enemies. You could have hundreds of hours of game time on this game and still never see the same enemy, or the same planet, or the same gun twice. And just because something is procedurally generated doesn't mean it's going to be random and ugly. Look at the enemies, for instance. They are created by using 3 parts, the leg, the body and the head. Then they are coloured to make it all flow. The developers have currently shown 25 different monsters that have been generated, and to my own surprise I've never seen one that looks like it shouldn't be right. I've never seen 2 different parts that look like they shouldn't go together. The same with all the guns they've shown, and the same with all the planets they have shown. Next up I want to talk a little bit about the building in the game. When you build in this game, you use this gun, which is kind of like a gravity gun, and you can pick anything up and place it wherever you want. The building looks very fluid, it looks very easy to do, and the furniture is according to the races, so it's even more diverse. For instance, in the video in the background they only use Apex materials, and in this screenshot all the furniture is Floran. The game is also very atmospheric according to how much detail they put into it, the way the trees sway in the wind, the realism of the water mechanics, and most of all the epic lighting system. There is also a crafting system that people can use. They can create systems and create awesome objects such as big mechs that you can actually use. There is little information about vehicles at this point, but we know you've got hover bikes and mechs, and there has not yet been any gameplay of it. Whether or not they'll be in the game at release is all speculation. Another aspect of the game that we still know little about is quests. All we really know at the moment is there will be a main quest line, but there will also be many other procedurally generated side quests. An example of this is you might find an NPC that wants to be carried home because he's injured and is being attacked by lots of monsters. When you're in multiplayer and you talk to an NPC, the speech bubble will be viewable by all the players in the party, and the sound they make is a Sims-like fake language. NPCs can also be recruited into your crew, and they move into your space station, or if you have no space left, into a new home planet. Okay, next up is a quick talk about multiplayer. Server owners can customize their server to affect players in different ways, for instance only allowing new characters to join. PvP will be in the game, and they'll be most likely in asteroids or pre-generated arenas, where the game will also keep the score for you. Everything you can do in single player is also available in multiplayer, and there is no cap on how many players that the server can hold, the only restriction being the server's power and internet speed. And finally, the players on the server are not restricted to only going on one planet at a time. All players can scatter about and go to completely different planets with no problems. Okay, I think that is a sufficient overview of the game, but there are a few more things that I would like to mention. First of all, the game will be available on PC, Mac and Linux. A public beta is not likely, but it's still possible. Ty seems to want to support modding, and he also has plans for a massive amount of post-release content, where he plans to hire a whole new team to handle it. And finally, an estimated price for the game will be $9 to $15. But that is not set in stone and can obviously change. And finally, there is no release date set in stone yet, so please stop asking me. Okay, that seems to be everything. Let me know if there's a big chunk of the game that I seem to have missed out. I have ignored some aspects on purpose because I didn't want this video to be any longer than 5, maybe 10 minutes. As usual, like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video.